and welcome to the Eurogamer show.
It's summer, traditionally a very quiet time for new game releases, but we've still got plenty of important stuff to talk about.
Very important stuff. For example, telling horses when to poop tactically with Metal Gear Solid 5.
And playing football with, rocket cars. Sorry, did you say telling horses when to poop?
Yeah, making them crap on command.
No, I don't know, actually.
Don't worry about it, I'll tell you about it later. First, let's go to Chris and find out what's been happening on the site this week. He really loves horses, doesn't he? I mean, maybe he's made one poop on command.
I certainly do like horses. Yep, that's me. This week, I'd like to talk about the response to a video we did on Wednesday, and that video was an early look at Mighty No. 9, which is a game that both Donlan and myself have played and enjoyed, but noted that something had perhaps been lost during the transition from the initial artwork to the build we ended up playing ourselves, and well, it seems like quite a few of you agreed with us. Yeah, some of you going as far as saying that you regret backing the project in the first place, which sucks, but it is a risk that we all take with Kickstarter. There's no guarantee that we will get what we want from the things that we support, or even what was promised in the first place, with some of the worst examples. But despite that disappointment not being entirely unique to Mighty No. 9, what's happened since that original campaign is kind of interesting. It was almost 2 years ago now that Inafune and some other Mega Man veterans showed up saying, hey, we'll make a spiritual successor to that game, if you like, and we said, yeah, sure, here's $3.8 million through Kickstarter, another $200,000 through additional crowdfunding. It was massive. And yet now the perception of that campaign and the team involved has altered quite significantly. They turned up at Microsoft's E3 press conference this year to show off Recall. It's going to be an Xbox One exclusive, it's that game with a robot dog. It isn't just a robot dog, and yeah, alright, I mean, Mighty No. 9 is out in September, it's not that big a surprise that they're working on something else. It is perhaps a little disappointing that they're limiting themselves to a single platform, considering Mighty No. 9 is being developed for everything, but that's just business, I guess. But then, since that reveal, another 2 Kickstarters have been announced by Concept. The first one was Red Ash, which will be a spiritual successor apparently to Mega Man Legends, and the second is kind of an accompanying anime feature film. Well, it will be an anime feature film if they raise the $2.5 million required to hit that stretch goal. At this stage, it could still just be a 5-minute thing. Stretch goals, man, they get messy. Speaking of which, look at the Kickstarter for the game itself. Although this has the relatively low initial goal of $800,000, its stretch goals are already going up to a possible $1.5 million. And that's not even what they're really after. Look, there's a mystery goal right there. That's asking for a lot, an awful lot of money. But I mean, after that huge success of Mighty No. 9 in 2013, is a couple of million really that big a deal? A few more million? Is that an issue? Well, yeah, actually it probably is, because, well, first of all, as we said, people are starting to think about Concept a little bit differently now that they've shown up with Microsoft talking about an Xbox One exclusive. That paints a slightly different public image than they perhaps had before. There's been some negative reaction, as we've seen this week, to what they've shown of Mighty No. 9, but more importantly than all of that, way more importantly than all of that, the Kickstarter campaign for Red Ash concludes before the release date of Mighty No. 9. Before the original backers of that game get their hands on it, they're being asked to front the next one, which seems crazy. People aren't going to do that. And well, they haven't. As of recording this video, we're looking at 24 days left on the campaign, and it's yet to cross the halfway line. Compare that to the first few days of Mighty No. 9, and yeah, things aren't looking so healthy. Let's not forget there that we're talking about halfway to 800,000, and that's not really what Concept are after at all. They'd like quite a lot more than that, I imagine. Need quite a lot more than that to try and make the game that people will be hoping for. And yeah, it's just interesting, isn't it? To think 2 years ago, Mighty No. 9 was this huge landmark for video game crowdfunding in Japan. It showed that the model could work for studios out there, that there was a worldwide market for it. It prompted a bunch of other Kickstarters, and before that game was even in the hands of the people that paid for it, that goodwill, that good faith, that positivity, so much of it has already disappeared. The Kickstarter crowd has, moved on. So what's the lesson to take away from this? What's the moral of the story? Because, well, I think it's this, okay? Don't launch 2 more Kickstarters before you follow through on the first one. It doesn't look very good. Alright, cool. Well, thank you for listening, and thanks for the comments on the original Mighty No. 9 video that kind of prompted this whole thing. And yeah, see you next week. Back to Johnny Aoife.
So about those horses.
Crapping on command, yes.
Yeah, what and why and how? I have to say you seem upsettingly calm about all this.
Hideo Kojima.
Oh, that's fine then. Carry on.
Okay. Hideo Kojima and Metal Gear Solid publisher Konami have parted ways, but they're still working together on what will most likely be Kojima's last MGS title, The Phantom Pain.
You would think that this no doubt awkward setup might have affected the game in some way, that Kojima was perhaps not as Kojima as he usually is.
Well, after reviewing over an hour's worth of new footage of the game from E3 this year, I am happy to tell you that's definitely not the case.
Most of the new footage is based around one mission from the game undertaken in a variety of different ways. Snake is charged with either assassinating or capturing a certain commander from an enemy camp, and he can approach on horseback, be dropped in by helicopter, drive to the camp, or slide in on his cardboard box. Then he can snipe the commander from a hillside, take him out by force, or kill him without going anywhere near the camp with a little help of Butt C4.
Target confirmed dead.
Also, the game is set in what is most likely the best decade, the 80s, and it does not want you to forget it.
You can steal cassette tapes from enemy stereos and set the music to play as your chopper drops you off or picks you up from a mission. And when you receive damage, a cool film burn effect shows on screen. This probably has to do with Kojima's fascination with cinema, but there's no arguing that it's quite an 80s looking technique.
Bikini-clad sniper Quiet is probably the most controversial aspect of the game thus far, but she's definitely a Hideo Kojima creation.
A female sniper that has to wear next to nothing for no good reason? Come on. I mean, Kojima will most likely come up with some spurious reason that she has to wear less clothes, but does that make it okay? He could have, made it so that she'd just wear a little more. He created her. But it's no surprise, really. Kojima may have created cool female characters like the boss in the past, but he also came up with Eva and the Beauty and the Beast core. It doesn't offend me or anything, I just feel kind of embarrassed every time she's on screen. And those boob physics are way out of whack.
To be honest, I know already that Quiet is definitely going to be my least used buddy, but not because her character design is childish and ridiculous. Nope, it's because, well, look at these guys.
When you choose a mission loadout, one of the things you can control is which buddy you take with you. Quiet is one, but D-Horse and D-Dog fall under the same category. D-Horse is wearing a cool space visor, and apparently you can make him defecate. And D-Dog can hunt down items and keep enemies busy while you take them out.
I'm just going to spend the whole game driving around in my Jeep with my wolf companion, listening to rad music with our cool matching eye patches. Best game ever. Also, Snake seems to think that riding around on a horse gives him magical invisibility powers. Yeah, Snake, they'll never spot you now. Also, hands up who thinks that "yeah" sound is going to get annoying after about, 5 seconds.
Really? He's gonna shout that every single time you spur the horse? Bit much. And I'm kind of disappointed the horse doesn't travel in the helicopter with you. But hey, there's plenty of other stuff to distract us.
In short, don't worry that his name is no longer on the box. The Phantom Pain may well be the most Kojima-like game there has ever been. It's like he went, what are they gonna do, fire me? Cardboard boxes, rocket punch hands. Haters gonna hate. All make sense now?
Worryingly, yes.
Good. Anyway, personally, I think playing football with rocket cars is weirder, but then I think football's lame.
Yeah, but it's football with rocket cars.
Point taken.
Now, I hate football with a passion, and there's a very good reason why I hate it so much. Basically, it's because I'm crap at it. I fail miserably at the sport every time I try it, whether that be in real life or in a video game. But then I heard about Rocket League, a football game where you control rocket-powered cars, not overpaid douchebags in shorts, and for a moment I thought everything could be different. But I was wrong. I just can't do it. I don't know what's wrong with me. People love this game. It's free for PS Plus this month and everyone is lapping it up. It's mega popular, it's got great controls, and there's always loads of people online playing it, and they all seem so good at it. They effortlessly boost and flip and spin their car into the ball, smashing it straight into the back of the net like it was on rails, while I fumble around smacking it into walls or passing it to the opposition by accident. I mean, I can't even score a goal, and I've literally been playing for about 3 hours now. I've done the tutorial, so I know what buttons to press and when to press them, but all I seem to be able to do is chase the ball up and down the length of the field for the entirety of each match, like a donkey chasing a carrot on a stick. The only goal I did manage to score in that whole time was an own goal, and thanks to the in-game chat box, I was able to see how disappointed everyone was with me. Look, this guy even called me pish. This is just like King Alfred School's 1994 sports day all over again, when I had to be a linesman because no one wanted me on their team. Oh well, at least you can put little hats on your cars. I can do that bit okay. Rocket League, everyone else might think you're ace, but I hate you.
Yeah, but it's football with rocket cars.
Point taken.
And this is what one looks like. This is how you pet it. Update time! The people behind Elite Dangerous released this new update called Power Play, injecting some welcome added structure to the game. Basically, this update introduced a fistful of faction leaders, each vying to increase their personal control over the galaxy. You can pledge allegiance to one of these leaders, then fly missions to help them out.